What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Before we get into the meta breakdown of the Ultimate Duelist series and talk about how things have shaped up quite beautifully and how innovation is just not dead in Yu-Gi-Oh! And so many interesting deck builds are popping up, well, I wanted to go over the more interesting stories leading up to that top cut for the last Ultimate Duelist series. This is really sad. It reminds me of the older ARGs, this concentrated field of some of the most amazing players going at it, holding nothing back because it's the best pricing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down. I hate to see it go. I really do. And for the last UDS, we see Billy Break, my roommate, coming out of retirement, playing Shaddoll Invoked, but he loses the feature match to Benjamin Dieter, who is on a heater. He actually got second at the last UDS. He was playing Heroes here, and Billy falls in battle. It does suck a little bit, but I do like to see Heroes do well as well. We see two-time Worlds competitor Jimmy Wynn take the Saturday Giant card after Michael Campos took the Friday Giant card and is currently competing in the top 8. If Michael Campos sounds familiar, by the way, he's still in the longest match ever at ARG. He was in that timeless over 2-hour Monarch mirror match where they didn't have time called for ARGs. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And on the bubble, by the way, it seemed really good to play Salmon Great in this side event for those thinking that it was dead because of Mirage Stalio. DZeef played Triff on the bubble. Double evenly could not clutch it for him, and Triff took the win, but then still didn't manage to push through with tiebreakers. 36 on the outside looking in. It actually would have been really cool to see him top and then push his way through the most competitive Swiss field of 32 duelists. And I want to take a look at this actual top cut in terms of representation here with you guys. Spiral did take a large chunk of that top cut, but it is no means dominating like we've seen in the past. It's not 50% of the pie. It's not where things have been out there. Sky Strikers, Solomon Great, Thunder Dragon, they've all taken this kind of representation and top cut before, and heading into top 8, it's not taking the largest slice of the pie either. Luna Light was heavily represented, 4 of them managed top, and 4 Altergeist. Shaddoll Invoked really showing up and out for its first event of updated support, but we also saw in Europe that Shaddoll Invoked could do it without the new support. Solid Boys, True King Dinos with Scott Page, my boy, in the top 8. We also have Mystic Mind Stun. Glad none of those transition past the top 32. We see 2 heroes, Rocket Dragon Link under Shu Ping, and Infernoids, the sleeper deck that I tell you guys not to sleep on. Look at all of these different decks. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different decks still in Top Cut. For anyone who thought diversity was dead moving forward, well, it might cost a lot to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it certainly isn't out of the question that it's a diverse format. Moving towards top 8, and we'll get into specific players soon, we see that True King Dinos and Rockets each take up 1 slot, and then it's 2 Shaddoll Invoked, seeming very strong versus its earlier representation, 2 Luna Lights, and 2 Spirals. And boy, do things get pretty different when we look at the actual top 8 players here. We have Hani Jahari with Spirals facing Scrap Spirals, so 1 is guaranteed to make its way into the top 8, but that also means there wasn't a chance for 2 to make top 4 coming out of top 8, and that's kind of, you know, we don't really get to see where it would have gone with different matchups. Michael Campos with Utopic Luna Light. He was playing Onomatopoeia stuff in the Friday side of it. His deck list is up on Bortles' channel. We see versus Shaddoll Invoked with Carl, and then Scott with True King Dinos versus Jesse Cotton. Man, please make this the feature match, even though I really want to see more Rocket Dragon Link. Please make this the feature match. And Mitchell Martin going head-to-head. He's Team Jobber with Lunalight, Zodiac, Fire Fist. Yeah, innovation's dead in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Versus Shu Ping's Rocket Dragon Link, making it one of, I believe, its first top cut appearances this far into a metagame. This is really interesting in terms of how everything has gone versus what people thought this meta would be. They thought it would be hand trap, hand trap, hand trap, just trying to choke out Spirals, which it is the deck to beat by representation. representation, but by no means is diversity dead at all. And when we look at the top 32 players, boy, just on the outside looking in with Triff, Avery Foster, these big names on the outside. On the inside, you have the return of Barrett Keys into a top cut. You have Joey Lynch coming back, one of the Texas legends. There are so many freaking good duelists around. BB out of Colorado, Dennis Nadas, like so many recognizable names throughout all of this top cut, but you do see a lot of the, the biggest names up here in the top 8. Dominic Couch, 9th place after Swiss looking in. Oh, that is so painful. But seriously, like when I look at the top 32 breakdown versus what people were panicking and selling at the beginning because of one Pro Play Games tour, well, I'm very happy with how it shaped up. Where's Heroes? Heroes doing nothing. Where's Orcust? Orcust doing nothing is more like it. I told you guys that despite Drone Lock being in the format and Lightning Storm / Dark Ruler No More being a thing, I still thought Heroes would perform. Early on in the regional circuit, it's been taking first, second, doing really good at big events, and we see no difference here, but it does get choked out by the top 8, unfortunately. Infernoid was cool to see represented in another top cut. I think there will be more eyes towards this than ever, especially with a little reappearance. For 2 top 4s in previous formats, very recently, I felt like it was very, very Resident slept on. True King Dino, this is the big eyebrow raiser to me. Dinosaurs are getting support in Dual Overload. We know they're getting reprints. They're re-waving the Structure Deck 2, and that releases towards May 31st before the WCQ, so people will have it in their hands. And it's doing this without its Eternity Code support and that little jewel crocodile boy. I think the True King Dinos does get a much higher ceiling under the next Master Rule. I can't wait to see Shuping's Rocket Dragon Link. He tends to show off his decks, but there are YCSs coming up like the Team YCS, so I don't know that he'll willingly do it, but the UDSs before have posted the top 4 deck list. We'll have to see what coverage does this time. Salomon Greats, they are continuing on in this consistency versus power struggle that's often talked about in Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the most consistent decks at what they do. One of the best ones for continuing to play through hand traps with how they're able to send from deck, get resources from grave, that kind of stuff. I like Solid Boys, and they sure are proving themselves here. Shaddoll Invoked, I think, was really argued beforehand. A lot of people gassing it up, hyping it up, and then another group of people saying it won't do anything. I slept on it a little bit. I thought it would get a top here and there, but definitely not represented on the level that it is, and it sure is transitioning into top cut and doing very well for itself. Altergeist, after such a heavy representation, not at all in here. And what's interesting about an Ultimate Duelist series for this breakdown is, after top 32, you have 4 to 5 more rounds of Swiss, and it's the most rounds that any competition will have in order to get to that first place. That's why it's the Ultimate Duelist series. So consistency is highly rewarded, not just matchups. And Altergeist going from that much to nothing, that's a little head scratching, isn't it? That's a little bit of an eyebrow raiser to say that versus everything else, it gets choked out on a longer tournament. I would have thought it would be doing better. Instead, it's these unique builds of Lunalights that got heavily rewarded. We get the Fire Fist Zoo version. We get the Onomatopoeia stuff. This is really interesting that Lunalight, all 4 Lunalights that topped were different builds. All 4 of them. It's like you just can't agree on how to play it, and yet they all do so well. It's very exciting for what they have going for them. So, as we head through this top 8 and we watch for the finals, I can't wait to see what wins. Please be Scott Page, even though you're against Jesse Cotton. Please, bro, please. It's so cool to see some of these names back. Consistency in playing being rewarded, and such an amount of good names within the top cut that you can just recognize from other events getting rewarded for their playtesting. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Let me know what you think of these graphs, and thanks to Carlancho Store for always doing these amazing graphics. Seriously, as people have said before, Konami should definitely hire you. You just make it look so nice, so quick, so easy, whatever template you have set up. And thanks to Konami for having the Ultimate Duel series. I really do hope you reconsider maybe doing another one, but with the final one being announced, it's gonna be sad seeing the belt go away. the rewards go away, and then the duelists who have the belts only get 5 more years with these rewards. It was lifetime of the tournament, but they extended it for 5 years, so it does matter for winning this. You get, if you don't know what you get for winning this, it's free entry to all of your tournaments of the regional and YCS level, VIP seating at all YCSs within the regions of that have UDS, so that's the Americas, and then you also just get two buys at the WCQ as well. Like, it's really amazing to get that VIP setup with the belt, and now we know the clock for it. It really feels like we're losing something special with this tournament. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And if you're panic buying any decks, use my TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra and supporting the channel directly. Thanks, everybody.